Hey everybody, welcome back to the COVID Cocktail Club. We're very excited today to share with you guys how to make mint juleps. So let's put on our fancy little hats, pretend we're going to the Kentucky Derby. God, I wish I had a cute hat for today.
I was gonna say I'm wearing I got blue white gingham. Mine's even seersucker. I was playing the part, and lo and behold, you're wearing your black T-shirt. Like no hat, nothing.
I wish I had a hat. I mean, I'll stick with the black, like my soul.
Nice.
Okay, if you guys have a hat, we want to see the hats posted with
Yes.
this drink because we can pretend we're watching the Kentucky Derby, pretend we're with our horses right now, being very fancy, very civilized, and hanging out together, drinking these mint juleps, which is a super easy drink to make.
Sure.
Really, all you need is mint and bourbon. If you have a Woodford laying around, this is the time to bust out your Woodford because Woodford Reserve is actually the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby. So that's why we have chosen to go with the Woodford today. Obviously, you can use whatever you have laying around.
Can I add some fun facts?
Oh, Jason has fun facts?
Well, I have fun facts. Yes, I know you're shocked.
I'm so surprised.
Full of surprises.
Carry on.
So I'm going to test your knowledge. How many mint juleps do you think they serve over 2 days of the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, I know this one. The answer is a shit ton.
You're close. It's 120,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of drinking. Well, if you're going to wear those hats and wear those seersucker suits, you got to feel comfortable. So the mint juleps sort of loosen you up a bit.
Okay.
So yes, 10,000 bottles of Woodford, 1,000 pounds of mint, which is a shit ton of mint, and 60,000 pounds of ice, because there's a sort of a special ice, a special, how would you describe it? It's crushed ice, but ideally you want to use a smaller crushed, kind of a smaller profile ice to make it very light and very refreshing. It's not just a big cube ice or a big square.
Yeah, we always say ice is important, and in this drink, ice is actually really important because I usually love those big, huge cubes of super clear ice. That is not for this drink at all. This drink requires all you people with your pellet ice and your sonic ice machines. This drink is definitely for you because you absolutely have to have like a crushed ice. It's almost like it's an adult snow cone, this drink.
Yeah, it's a good description.
So as crushed as you can get it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, if you're ever, once we get past all this, if you're having a party, you can actually get the Sonic Ice, get a bag of it, and put it in your freezer. That's the perfect ice for this. So neither one of us have that, obviously. As you'll see my ice in a minute, it's not quite the Sonic Ice profile, but it is more of a crushed ice than a cubed ice. All I did was I got a towel. It's important. That's a clean towel, very clean towel. Filled it with ice, wrapped it up, make sure it's nice and tight. I have concrete floors, so I'm lucky here, but tile floors would be good. You don't want to use your countertops. And make sure it's nice and tight and just bang the shit out of the ice until it gets down to like a crushed, profile. It took probably 3 bagfuls of maybe 8 cubes each. So it takes all of 2 minutes. You'll see in a minute, it's pretty crushed. It's that softer kind of profile that I think does well with this drink. So if you don't have the option to go to Sonic, that's one way to do it. Or just a smaller ice cube, but like Rysse has smaller ice cubes. Those work as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to use that. The other thing that we want to make note of for today's drink is that there's actually, the mint julep has its own glassware. So these are the traditional julep mugs, glasses?
Cups. It's a julep cup.
Julep cup, okay. So this is a traditional julep cup. If you don't have one of these laying around, I would venture to guess very few of you do. I think a mule mug works super well. And when all else fails, you can use a glass and nobody will mind the difference.
So mule, an old-fashioned glass, really anything. Honestly, a solo cup if you have to.
Or if you have those little snow cone for hoo-haws.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So shall we get to work making this?
Yes. Oh, and one of the fun things about this drink is there's no shaker tin, there's no mixing glass. It's like all-purpose, all done in this julep cup or whatever you're using. So
unless you're using one of the snow cone hoo-haws, in which case I wouldn't recommend making it right in there.
Yeah, probably a good call.
Just saying. Okay, so start with your shit ton of mint. So here's the deal with mint. If you over muddle mint, you're going to release the oils that are inside, like the chlorophyll or whatever, the oils that are inside the leaves, and that will make it super bitter and disgusting. So you have to be very careful with the mint. Ordinarily, when we use mint, I just say give it a good clap and be done with it. Jason is pushing to muddle the mint a little bit, but I would say be careful with muddling this guy because you really don't want to overdo it. So I put in about half a dozen leaves, and I'm going to use half an ounce of simple syrup. Actually, you know what? If you don't have simple syrup already made here, you can just use regular sugar and nobody will tell.
Yep, agave nectar, even honey. If you're out of everything, you have honey, honey would work.
But I would even say just use regular sugar here because there's so much damn water with all the ice that it'll turn itself into a syrup for you.
Sure.
Muddle gently.
2 ounces of bourbon.
2 ounces of bourbon. So realize, though this thing may feel like a light summery drink, you're still getting 2 ounces of bourbon in there, so it still packs a punch.
Yeah, and we're not adding any kind of mixers, so it's going to be really the ice that dilutes into water, and that's it. We're not adding tonic or Topo Chico or any of that to help dilute the drink. So yes, it will pack a punch for sure.
Think about it. I mean, this is really like a mint old fashioned with a lot of ice.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, right? So once you have your syrup and your bourbon and your mint, you're really done. The last thing that you really need there is ice. So you want to fill it up with ice, and we'll start. I
brought mine in just in a clear glass. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it is crushed. It's pretty small. And then you're going to fill the glass. So I just spilled some. You do not want to do that. Really, if you're using a julep cup, one nice thing about it, it'll tell you when it's cold because you'll see it frost on the outside. If you're using a glass or something else, just stir for about 10 or 15 seconds. Again, because it's really straight bourbon in there and a little bit of sugar, you do want to dilute it a bit. And then we're going to go back for more ice to create sort of almost a snow cone effect that Rysse mentioned.
Yeah, this one, you cannot have too much ice for this one. Here's a tip. Put your straw in before you add all that ice. Oops. Then you're going to garnish with a bouquet of mint. I love using that word.
You notice I did not say that word.
I know you didn't. And this is one of those drinks where like there's no such thing as a variation or a riff or anything because it's really just a very classic drink.
Yeah, it's very true. It is a classic Southern cocktail that is sort of speaks for itself. You're always much better with your garnishes than me, but mine works. Mine's more like a tree.
More like a tree than a bouquet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like cascading.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It'll still drink well.
Yes, this is true.
Well, we hope you guys enjoy your Kentucky Derby-less mint julep. It still tastes good without the horse race, although actually you probably can find one online. Just pull up an old recording of a 1995 Derby and drink away.
I mean, that's on YouTube.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what year. Who cares? In fact, really, when we're drinking these, do we really care who wins the race? Really?
I think we're looking at people's hats.
No, yeah. Tomorrow's a fun drink. Another classic. We are going back to rum. So have your rum ready, have your lime juice ready, and have your sugar ready. If you happen to have Luxardo liqueur, Luxardo cherry liqueur, and grapefruit juice, and you want to play around with a variation, bring that with you, but not necessary. All right, guys, enjoy.
Okay.
Cheers, Rysse.
Cheers, Jason.